My screen is visible. My screen is visible. Hello, am I audible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so good afternoon. Let me make it to. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed about the IP address, right? So this IP address is given by this internet protocol, and it's also known as a logical address, right? So whenever you want to connect your computer or laptop to internet, right? At that time, your device must have this IP address, right? And because of that only nowadays, if you read some news like of cyber crime, right? If some people will do some activity using some uh, unknown Facebook account or some other social network account, still police can find it, right? So they, what they will do, they will track their IP address, right? So from that they will identify the device, and from the device they will know who has done that particular activity, right? So we have seen yesterday like IP address is of 32 bit, right? So actually there are two types of IP protocols are there, right? One is okay. So there are two types of IP protocol are there. One is IPv4 and one is IPv6, right? So V means version 4 and V6 means version 6. So if we'll specifically talk about IPv4, right, which is widely used. So in that IP address is made of 32 bit, right? So 32 bit means it is generally denoted by the dot decimal notation. So generally if you see IP address, then you will find like some decimal value, dot decimal value, dot decimal value, dot decimal value. So it is in the four part, or you will find the four pair of the value, right? And all the values are separated by dot sign. So and these all the values are varies from 0 to 255, and that is why, because the total address is of 32 bit, so 4 part means each part is of 8 bit, and 8 bit means 2 raised to 8. So using 0 1 you can make some different 2 raised to 8 combination, and that is from 0 to 255, right? So that we have seen. Then we have discussed like there are three types or category of IP address, right? Main three types: ABC, this D and E. These two categories generally used for research purpose, right? Or they are not widely used. So in ABC, we have seen like in class A, the first byte or first 8 bit is used for network ID, and remaining 24 bit is used for to identify your device or host, right? In class B, you will use 2 byte or 16 bit to identify network, and remaining 16 bit or 2 byte you will use for identify the host. In class C, you will use 3 byte or 24 bit to identify network, and last 8 bit or 1 byte to identify the host, right? So this is the difference between these three, right? uh, and depends on the how many bits you are used to identify network and how many number of bits you are used to identify host. You can give the number of network and number of host that you can use by that particular type of IP address, right? So based on that you can see like right. here, right? In class A you can see like you can connect your or you can connect some 2 raised to 7 network for class A, 2 raised to 14 network for class B, and 2 raised to 21 network for class C. Actually it should be 2 raised to 8, 2 raised to 16 and 2 raised to 24, but some bits, higher bits, we have fixed it. So because of that we have removed the number, right? So So for class A, one bit is fixed, so that's why 2 raised to 7 number of network. In class B, 2 bits are fixed, 1 0, so 2 raised to 14 networks. And in class C, 3 bits are set, 1 1 0. So remaining 21 bits we are used for to find the number of network. Similar way, you can find also number of hosts for that network. So if you use class A type IP addresses, then you can connect some 2 raised to 24 number of nodes or computer in your network. In class B, you can use 2 raised to 16 number of hosts to the network, and in class C, you can use 2 raised to 8 number of hosts. So you can see like depends on how many number of device in your network, how many number of network in your device, right? You can use particular class, right? And generally when you connect by default depends on that number, your system will use these classes, okay? uh, so here also we have given the range like from 0.00 to 127.255.255.251. This range is for class A, right? So similar way we have different ranges for class B and C, right? So this is about classes, right? Then I have also shown you like how you can find the IP address of your device, right? In both the Windows OS and in the uh, Mac OS, right? So this was the revision for yesterday, right? What we have discussed. Now one term is subnet, right? So what is the subnet? So subnet, or it is also called subnetwork, right? It is nothing but the part of your network. So you can see in the figure like left hand side you have a figure, a figure of network, and in that network if I'll zoom a small part, right, that is also network, right? For example, in your network you have some 100 PC, then if you take a group of 10 PC, right, then you also call it as a network. So that small network is a part of your big network. So the smaller network is known as a subnet, right? And this concept of subnet or subnetting, right, it is developed to make your network more efficient, right? So through the subnetting, the network traffic can travel a shorter distance without passing through the unnecessary routers to reach its destination, right? So the concept of this subnet, right, is used like in your network you have more than one router, right? And like the data transfer or some access you are doing, that is within that network, right? So if you have that concept subnet, then you do not need to travel through more than one router, right? You can find the shortest path, right? And you can do that action or functionality. You can access the data, you can transfer the data, right? So for that purpose, to making the task easier, they have given this concept of subnet, okay? So why is this subnetting is necessary? So as we know, like we are using the IP address, right? Why? To identify the particular device, right? To devices are communicating with each other, right? uh, in the network you have more than two devices, so each devices must have some unique id, unique identity. So for that we are using IP address, right? So generally whenever we transferring the data, with the data we are also transferring the uh, source and destination address, and that is IP address, right? So the way IP addresses are constructed, right, make it relatively simple for internet routers to find the right network to route data into, right? For example, you are transferring one data from one PC, right, which is like at your home, and the destination is at, for example, in some other city, then it has to travel through many routers, right? So one router is connected with many routers. So how it will find like which path or which router they have to choose, right? So for that task, this subnetting is, we can say, helping. So for example, if you're in your network you are using class A network or class A IP addresses. So class A means you are using uh, 8 bit for network ID and 24-bit for host ID. So you can say like millions of devices are connected in your network, right? So it could take some time for data to find the right device. Like you have millions of devices, so how you will find? Definitely you have to compare, like is it the address of the particular device or not, right? So that to do that comparison, even you need some time, right? So because of that, this subnetting comes in picture, right? It's handy. uh, what is the main function of subnetting? It's narrow down the IP address to usage within a range of devices, right? So because of this subnetting, it will narrow down, like if from this range to this range, if you're in your IP address, the address is between these to this range, then you have to choose this router. Your IP address is from this to this range, then you have to enter in this router, right? So that way it will narrow down whatever the IP address is available in your network, right? So because of that it will save the time, and because of that you can easily transfer the data. So because an IP address is limited to indicating the network, right? In IP address you have both the thing, network ID and the host ID. So because of an address is limited to indicating the network and the device addresses, IP addresses cannot be used to indicate which subnet an IP packet should go to, right? So routers within a network use something called subnet mask to sort data into subnetwork, right? So IP address definitely had has two fields. One is network ID and the second is host ID, right? But in IP address there is no part or no any facility of like to give or to say like which subnetting it will belong to, right? So for that, router has a functionality. Router uh, has a mechanism, or we can call like a technology or some mechanism called subnet mask, right? And using that subnet mask, router will sort the data, like the the data is belong to the PC or the device which inside that router, or which is connected to that router or not, right? So once data uh, a, a source will send the data, right? And when it will reach to router will decide, right, like this data is having the destination address, and that address is of the PC which is inside or which is connected to that router or not, right? If it is connected, then it will pass on, otherwise it will block, right? So this subnet concept, right, that that is, we can say, performed by the router, right? Now, as I told, like, router has uh, a subnet mask. Then let's see what is the subnet mask, right? So a subnet mask is like an IP address, right? It will look similar to IP address, right? Like I'll show when yesterday. I don't know you have noticed or not. Like whenever I perform this thing to find the IP address, you can see below this IPv4 address, it was written subnet mask, right? Right. So whenever you will find, try to find the IP address, right, and you will open the command window and you will write this ipconfig command, and it will show you the detail related to your networking, right? And you can also see, like, here everything is written like wireless LAN, right? So I'm using internet through wireless, so that's why it's written wireless, right? If you use the internet through the ethernet cable, then you can see here below the ethernet adapter local area network is written, right? So right now it is disconnected. So if you have connected to wire, then the whatever data is written in the above, the similar type of data will be written that below portion, right? So my we are talking like talking about like subnet mask, right? So whenever you will find the IP address at that time, that subnet mask you can also find, right? So for me right now, the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, right? It looks similar to IP address, right? IP address also have four field, all the four fields are separated by the dot, right? So here also it is same. So right, so the subnet mask is similar to IP address, right, but for only internal usage within a network, and the use of subnet mask is for only internal network, right? So whatever the device is connected to router, right, for that router, for example, you can call it as a subnet or subnetwork, right? And that subnet mask is exist, or you can say is known to the devices which are connected to that particular router only, right? So routers use the subnet mask to route data packet to the right place, right? Subnet masks are not indicated within data packets, right, which is traveling in the internet. So data is transferring, but in data you only have the IP addresses, right? It does not have any subnet mask or any other kind of addresses, right? But router has that functionality. From the IP address, it will find like what subnet mask the router has, and whatever IP address is in data, that is for the devices which are connected to it or not, right? So the packets only indicate the destination IP address, right, which a router will match with a subnet. So router has that subnet mask, and it will match that mask with the data, the IP address which is in the data packet, right? Now let's see, like, what is the subnet mask, right, or uh, how router will give the subnet mask. So for example, if your IP address is 19, right, is 192.0.2.15, right? It's, for example, IP address, and this IP address, for example, are here from like you can say like it's starting from 192, so definitely it is class C network, right? So this is class C network. So class C network means what? The first 24 bit are used for host network ID, and last 8 bit are used for host ID. So here you can say like the first 24 bit means first three field, that is 192.0.2, right? So this is the network ID, right? And you can call it directly. You can write 192.0.2 as a network ID, or technically you can write like the last field you will make 0 and oblique you will write 24. So why your oblique you will write 24? Because the first, it's class C network, so first 24 bits are for network ID. So to indicate that thing, with oblique we'll write 24. So it's indicate the class C network. Okay, and the last, this 15 value or 15 decimal, that is nothing but the device ID, right? Host ID. So once the packet is arrived to the network, or we can say like a particular router, then what router will do? Router will match this network, this some bits, right? Some out of this 32 bit, right? It will match some bits, or it's compare some bits of that network ID, and after that it will take it or it will not take it, right? And once it that bits are matched, that subnet mask, right? Using that it will do a binary mathematical operation, right? And that operation is AND operation. I will see that with the example, right? Uh, so once it will match, then it will take it, and after that it will check the last 8 bit, and that is 15. So it's a device ID, and then it will send the data to that particular device ID, right? Uh, so that way it will, this mechanism will work, right? Right. So and router has like routing table, so whatever the device is connected with it has a table. So it does some binary mathematics using its subnet mask, right? And that mask is generally like the higher bits are all ones. So it's all one means in decimal it is 255, right? So 255.255.255.0, right? And it will do that AND operation with that, right? And after that whatever the value will get, that is the, we can say, subnet IP address, right? uh, so device address is here 15, and the rest of the bits indicate the network. So after calculate the subnet, with subnet the packet should go to, and it forward that packet to the router or switch responsible for delivering the packet within the subnet, right? And the packet is arrived at the specific IP address or destination IP address, that is 192.0.2.15, right? So let's suppose, let's take one example, right, of subnet address, like how the subnet address is given or you can find. So for example, you have a class A network, and the address is like 11.65 dot 27.1. So class A means what? Class A means first 8 bit or first part is for network ID or network prefix, and the remaining 24 bits, 24 bits means last 3 value, that is 65.27.1, that is define the particular host address, right? So here you can see the in the address 11, first byte means first 8 bit is 11, so 11 is network address, and the remaining 3 value 65.27.1, it is a host address, right? So now consider that a network admin wants to use 23 to 6 bit to identify the subnet and the remaining 0 to 5 bit to identify the host address. Right? Like how many bits you have to identify host address? 24 bit, total 24 bit. So 24 bit total. So generally in digital we'll start from 0. So total 24. So 0 to 23 means 24. If you count 0 to 23 means it's 24 bit. Right? It's 24 value. You get total number 24. 0 to 23. So among 0 to 23, like your network admin wants like from 6 to 23 last, right? If you start count from 0 and you will reach 23, like first 6 bit, that is 0 to 5, but here it is written in the reverse order, 5 to 0, right? You can also call it 0 to 5. So 0 to 5 bits you want to use to identify just host, and remaining from 6 to 23 you want to use to identify subnet, right? That is varying, depends on your network admin. Sometimes you only use, if in your network, if in your network your router is connected with limited number of PC, then you do not need to use such kind of subnet. But for example, you have large number of PC, then you can also divide. For example, you have 100 PCs connected with a router, then you can make a group of 10 PC. So you have 10 subnet. So to use 10 subnet, you only need some 4 bit. So you just use 4 bit to identify the subnet, and the remaining 20 bit you can use for identify the host address, right? But here, for example, I have taken like from 6 to 23 bit we use to identify subnet, and the remaining 6 bit, that is 0 to 5 bit, I want to use for to identify host address. So now how you can give the how you can give the subnet mask. So subnet mask is represented with all 1 bits starting, it's from 6 to 31. Total how many bits you have total? 32 bit. 32 bit means 0 to 31. We will give the sequence number to 30, all 32 bits, like first bit will give the sequence number 0, then second bit will give the sequence number 1. That way the 32 bit means its sequence number is 31. So for all these 32 bit, right, which is we use for IP address, in that from 6 to 31, right? Here like for identify the subnet you are using from 6 to 32, right? So from that value, or from that sequence number 6, so here also from 6, and here we are taking up to 23. Why? Because it is for identify the uh, host, and that is for class A. So that's why total we have 24 bit. So that's why we have 0 to 23. Among that 6 to 33 we are using for subnet. So here we'll use from 6 to 32, right? So 6 to 31 bit we are taking as 1, and the bits, the position which we are used to identify the host address, that is 0 to 5, that will take as a 0 bit, right? So here I have written with the word, but here you can see, right? So here you can see my IP address, right? Like, like in this figure you can find, right? So for example, I have taken the IP address as a 11.65.27.1, that is written in at the first line, right? And in the bracket I have written the decimal, right? Now this decimal, if I'll convert in the binary form, then 11 I can write as a 00001011, right? 65 I can return as a 01, 000001. That way I can write say 27 and 1, right? You can, there is uh, a proper conversion formula or conversion way, like how you can convert decimal to binary, right? This digital 0 1, it's it's known as a binary. Binary means only two types of digit you have, 0 and 1. In decimal, how many types of digit we have? 10 type of 0 to 9, so 10 types of digits, so it's called decimal. And in binary we have only two types of digits, 0 and 1, so that's why it's called as a binary, right? So this IP address which is in decimal, I have converted into the binary form, right? Now what is subnet mask? So subnet mask, as I told, what, starting from 6 bit. So in digital we always start the counting from right side. So right side, so you can see like in the subnet mask, right? The first 6 position, at first 6 position I have written 0, so that is from 0 to 5, right? And from 6th position to 32, if you count all these 10, right, here 8 bits, here 8 bits, here 8 bit, and here 8 bits, so total 32 bits are there, right? So as network administrator decided, like I want to use uh, out of 24 bit, from 6 to 23 bit I want to use as a subnet, for subnet identification, and remaining 6 bit, that is from 0 to 5, I only use to identify the host or device. So that's why for 6 bit, whatever the number of bits you are using to identify host, that you have to take as a 0, and remaining all bit you have to take as a 1. That is the rule to find the subnet mask. In subnet mask, the bit position, right, which are used to identify host, that you have to take as a zeros, and remaining bit you have to take as a 1, right? So that's why here I have taken all ones, and the left hand side 6 bits I have taken as a 0, right? So here also you can see like I have mentioned with different color, right? uh, Left hand side 6 bits, which I have taken 0, are in red, and remaining starting from 6 to 32, so those are some 26 bit, right? I have taken as a 1. Now the IP address is here written, right? Now as I told, like to find the subnet address we have to do a binary mathematics, and that operation is AND operation. So here you can see, right, the third point, right, we apply the AND operation, and AND operation means, like if you have 2 0 or 2 1, then you have to take as a 1. If you have 2 1 0, then you have to take as a 0. If you have 0 1, then you have to take as a 0, and if you have 0 0, then you have to take 0. This is the AND operation, right? So you have to do this operation between mask and IP address, right? So let me show you. Um, it's actually a very interesting thing. You have not studied, so maybe you find it difficult. It is very easy. You can see, right? This way you have to do the operation. This 2 bit, right? This 2 bit, this 2, all that way you have to do the operation. So here you can see, like whenever you will find two ones, 1 0 and one is 1 and one is 0. For that we have like AND means, AND is kind of multiplication, right? So wherever you will find 2 1, then and only you will write 1. See here, remaining all places when both are 0, one is 0 and one is 1, right, for all you will write zeros, right? You can observe, right, here, right, all where you will find 0. So it's actually nothing but the AND operation. When both are 1, you just have to write 1, and otherwise you have to write 0, right? You can see. So by doing that AND operation, you will find the this subnet address, and that address, once you get in the binary form, then you can convert in the decimal form, right? So for this example, when I have taken the IP address 11.65.27.1, at that time, if I'll take the mask like first 6 bits are 0 and remaining 26 bits are 1, then by doing that AND operation I will get this subnet mask, subnet address, right? So this way you will find the subnet address. So this is example. Okay. Then the proxy server. So proxy term basically is related to uh, security purpose, right? So we have okay. So the proxy server is kind of a computer, right? Inside the internet, we can say, right? Or on the internet, that accept the incoming request from the client and forward those requests to the destination server, right? So it is kind of a middleware, right? A middleware. So it works as a gateway between end user and internet. So whenever you are using internet, definitely behind, right, backend, in your laptop or PC or device, or mobile, any device, any electronic device which is using internet, right? Whenever you use the internet, there is a term called proxy will come in the picture, right? And that is the between it is the between you and internet, or you can say your device and internet, right? This proxy always like it has its own IP address, right? Not for example, I'm using my laptop, then the proxy used by my laptop, it has its own IP address that is different from the IP address of my device, right? It separate the client system and the web services from global internet, right? So it's kind of a mechanism which will provide the partition. In other words, we can say like the proxy server allow us to access any website with a different IP address, right? So if I'm accessing the some website, I open some website, I open some link, right? At that time, that link or that website has its own server, right? And for that server, it will see me as which IP address? The IP address of my proxy, right? So it's play a intermediate role between users and targeted website or server. It collects and provides information related to user request. The most important point about the proxy server is it does not encrypt the traffic, right? Means it will not do any kind of encryption and decryption. Well, I want to access some website, whatever the data coming from the website or whatever the data I'm sending from my end, right? It will not do any kind of encryption, right? The main purpose of this proxy is the two function, right? Two we can say main purpose of the proxy server. One is it will keep the system behind the its, and it make it anonymous, right? So like if you searching some website, they will not know you, right? They will don't know your IP address, so it will keep your system behind it, behind the proxy, right? So it will make you anonymous, and it will speed up the access to source through caching. So cache memory, I think all of you know, right? Whenever you search something, your laptop, your mobile, all will have the cache memory, right? So the cache memory is nothing but the kind of temporary memory. So whatever data you will search, whatever website you will search, right? It will, like, you will also heard about the cookies, right? So it kind of some data is stored in your device, right? So that you, what is the function of this proxy servers? One function is like if you want to once you have access some website, right? And then you close it and again you search it, right? So if the data if that website, right, is available in the cache memory, then uh, because of the proxy, right, you will get like the website will open up very fast, right? So that is also one function of this proxy. So the mechanism of proxy server is like your client means your PC or your device, right? And this ISP means it's internet service provider. So it's internet, right? So for example, I want to access a website called www.example.com and one website is www.xyz.com. Then I will, whenever I will write in my Chrome or some Internet Explorer, right, that request will go to the proxy server, and that proxy server will send that to internet, and from that internet, whenever this website is open, whatever you can see on that website, right, that will come the data. Actually it's, you are visualizing, but it is coming in the form of data, in the form of information. So that will come to the proxy, and from proxy it will reach to you, right? Now if some problem is there in the website, right, if some websites like it have the chances of antivirus, sorry, virus, not antivirus, it has the chances of virus, then what the proxy server will do, it will block that website, right? You can't access that website, right? So that kind of mechanism this proxy server will provide you. So the proxy server accepts the request from the client and produce the response based on the following condition. Right? So the conditions are like if the requested data or page already exists in the local cache, right? The cache memory, in cache memory that requested or that page is already exists, then the proxy itself provide the required data to client, right? So here, for example, you already access like this www.example.com and it is available in your cache memory, then the proxy do not send the request to internet, right? It will directly open it because it already have the data, right? If the requested data or page do not exist in the local cache, then proxy server forward that request to the server, the destination server or server of that particular website, right? And the proxy servers transfer the replies to the client and also being cached to them. So whatever the reply come from the server, right, that will forward or transfer that request or reply to the client. Like if sometimes you will find like if the server is down, then you are unable to access the website. For example, you are booking a ticket from IRCTC website, right? Then you will find like in some hour you are unable to open the website. So what happened? You are opening that website means your device is sending the request to your proxy is sending the request to the server of IRCTC. But because of some problem in their side, they are unable to send the data to proxy, and that's why proxy will not send any data to you. So that's why it is showing like unable to open that particular website. Right? So this is the how the proxy will work, right? And therefore it can be said like the proxy server act as a client as well as server. It is in the middle way. So sometimes it's sending and sometimes it's receiving. So it's kind of like it's act as a client as well as server. Right? Then the next term is firewall. That is also you heard, right? So firewall in your nowadays, if you purchase a laptop or PC and if you install some OS, right? Then in your OS inbuilt you have a firewall, right? So sometimes people are confusing with like firewall is a software or hardware. So actually firewall is included in the both things, right? Hardware as well as software. But mostly we know about the software, right? We will know like firewall as a software, but it is also included in hardware, right? So if we specifically talk about this, that firewall, which we can observe, right? If you will go to, let me show you. If I'll go to the control panel, I think in control panel you can see this firewall. I don't exactly remember, but I think you can, like here, option, right? Windows firewall, right? And that is for security purpose. So it is inbuilt in your OS, right? So will not go into the functionality like, right, but its main function is for security, right? And day by day there is an option like you can update, right, the firewall, right? Firewall can be defined as a special type of network security device or a software program that monitor and filter the incoming and outgoing network traffic based on a defined set of security rules. Right? So based on the security rule, it will monitor whatever data is coming, whatever data is going from that, and in that it will check related to the security. Right? So it kind of a filter. It's act as a barrier between internal private network and external sources. Or external sources generally is a public internet. So whenever you are using the internet, this firewall come in the picture, right? And it is a kind of a barrier between your device or your network and the internet. Right? The primary purpose of the firewall is to allow non-threatening traffic and prevent malicious or unwanted data traffic for protecting your computer from virus and attack. Right? So no one can hack, no one can inject the virus in your device. Right? So firewall will protect your virus from protect your laptop or PC from virus and from hackers or attacks. Right? A firewall is a kind of a security, cyber security tool, you can say, right? That filters network traffic and helps user to block the malicious software from accessing the internet in the infected computer, right? Uh, so not only internet, if you connect two devices, right? Uh, and the other devices have some kind of virus, then also the firewall, right? It will protect your device. So it will protect your device from both the internet and from, if in the local network some computer is infected, right, then from that also it will protect. So you can call the firewall as a gatekeeper, right, for your device. So it's analyze every attempt coming to gain access to our operating system and prevent the traffic from unwanted and non-recognized sources. Right? So if some sources are not recognized, right, not authorized, then or unwanted, then it will deny it. Right? Since the firewall act as a barrier, right, or filter between computer system and other network, mainly internet, right, we can also consider it as a traffic controller, right? So that is also a function of firewall, right? So firewall's primary function is to secure our network and information by controlling the network traffic, preventing unwanted coming network traffic or signal, and validating the access by assessing network traffic for malicious things such as hacker and malware. Right? Generally, most operating system, as I told, Windows OS uh, and the security software come with the inbuilt firewall support. Right? Therefore, it is good idea to ensure that those options are turn on, right? You can also turn off, like sometimes some website you are trying to access, or sometimes you will try to download some exe file. At that time it will not allow, it will tell you like it's risky. If you like allow it, then you can download it, right? But it will give you the warning like it may have the virus, right? So it has the option like you can turn on and turn off, right? So additionally, we can configure the security settings of the system to be automatically updated whenever the update is available, right? So the firewalls have become so powerful and include a variety of functions and capability with inbuilt features. And in that features, we can include like network threat prevention, application and identity based control, hybrid cloud support, scalable performance, network traffic management and control, access validation, and record and report on events. Right? So these are some functions of firewall. Right? Okay. Uh, so I think we already. So one slide is there, so let's complete it. So how this firewall will work? So firewall system analyze the network traffic based on the predefined rule, right? So it already have some rules defined inside it, right? So based on that, it will analyze whatever data is coming from the internet. So it then filter the traffic and prevent any such traffic coming from the unreliable or suspicious sources. It only allow incoming traffic. So here traffic means incoming data or some data. So it's only allow the incoming data that is configured to accept. Right? Typically firewalls intercept the network traffic at a computer entry point known as a port. So right, so you have USB port, you have Ethernet port, right? So if you are using internet, then definitely you are have connected some router, internet router with your device. It may be through Wi-Fi or it may be through wired. If you are using wired, then you are using Ethernet port, and if you are using Wi-Fi, then you are using that Wi-Fi. For Wi-Fi, you whatever the chip you have that is installed in your motherboard, right? So whenever you are using the internet, you use some of your computer port, and that is the entry point. So at that point, you can say the firewall is there, right? And the firewall perform this task by allowing or blocking specific data packets, right? uh, Based on predefined security rule. Incoming traffic is allowed only through the trusted IP addresses also. Like sometimes if some IP address, if somebody have so hacker, what hacker will do, they will play with the IP address, right? So because of that, your firewall will not block it, right? So based on the whatever the IP address coming, right? Based on that, also the firewall will allow the traffic. Okay. So this is about the firewall. So we have almost completed the computer network portion, right? From the next lecture, we will start like wireless sensor network. Okay. Anybody have any question? Anyone have any question?
मेरे सबनेट वाले एक बार वापस दिखाओ ना एड्रेस में
What?
सबनेट
हाँ, subnet.
एड्रेस 11